Hi friends, my name is host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People and a professional typologist of great renown. And today I'm going to tell you how to anger each of the 16 personality types if you were so inclined. I'm not suggesting it, but here's how you make them angry. So let's look at this here. FI as a function. First function, you got your ISFPs, your INFPs. The thing about the angry thing is it comes out of the 8th slot and the 7th slot and their relation with your dominant. So for the ISFP, their 8th slot is TI. So if you want to piss them off, you push on their 8th slot. You say, well, logic says that you should think or do meow. And then, of course, the reason it pisses them off is because it compels them to then turn to their 7th slot, polar NE, to come up with reasons to contradict that. And similarly, the INFP, also an FI dom, with TI8 slot, is going to say, if you tell them logic says you should affirm or negate yeah, then they're saying, okay, well then that's going to compel me into a decision, which might lead to a course of action I have to follow, and I'm not ready for any such sort of thing at the moment. So this is why pushing on somebody's 8th slot makes them mad. Let's look at the next two types. ISTPs and INTPs. You tell an ISTP, you acted the way you did because of your feelings. It'll make them very angry because then, again, like the ISFP, you're telling them turn to your extroverted intuition to come up with rebuttals. You tell an INTP, you affirmed or negated that position because of your feelings, or this is what you're feeling. They're going to be very angry with you because you're basically saying you need to take some sort of action that will remove this matter from a deliberative matter, because I'm denying you legitimacy and deliberation by accusing you of using your feelings to make a decision rather than your reasoning. Let's look at the FE types. ESFJ. They have TE in the 8th slot, the FE types do. ESFJ is TENI. So you're doing it wrong because your experience isn't relevant here. Okay? You need to pay attention to this universal thing that is contradictory to your experience. There's some singular factor that's going to make your whole big plan here fall apart. You've not accounted for. Stuff like that. For ENFJ, it's you're doing it wrong because you need experience, or you're not including particulars enough. They're not going to like that. They want the sense that you don't need to include any particulars to explain things. You know, the Eckhart Tolle Oprah way. TE. This is your ESTJs and ENTJs. You got FE in the 8th slot. ESTJ, FE, NI. This social universal invalidates your experience. The other way you can piss off an ESTJ is simply praise them or critique them for basically anything that's got FE shit on it. They don't like being told, hey, you're one of the smartest people I've ever met. They don't like being told that. It makes them feel embarrassed. And they don't like being told that they were awkward or something like that. So, and they were awkward because they didn't understand some universal, right, especially. For the ENTJ, it's going to be like, if you want to attain on FE, you're going to need to pay attention to the particulars here. Remember this person's birthday, his name, whatever. That's going to piss off the ENTJ. ISTJ. So it's like if you tell I've typed plenty of ISTJs, and a lot of them come in thinking they're not ISTJs, but the thing is, the reaction to being told they're ISTJs is so consistently textbook ISTJ. It's like if you tell an ISTJ, well, actually, this NI truth, these TI parsings and NI truth are definitive about who you are, then all of a sudden you're saying to the ISTJ, and if you want to convince me otherwise, if you want to convince me that you're something other than ISTJ, you're going to have to manage my perceptions. That's asking to pull out their 7th slot. That nobody likes that. ISFJ, it's NITE, so it's going to be like, actually, this reality makes your experience irrelevant. That's not the way this works. You got to go in this order. So your experience here isn't relevant because of protocols or something. That's going to piss the ISFJ off. All right, now let's look at NI. INTJs have SI 8 slots, so do INFJs, but they treat it a little differently. So for INTJs, it's going to be, you don't know enough particulars to know what you think you know. That's going to piss an INTJ off. I don't need to know particulars. I'm using my intuition. When my intuition needs particulars, they automatically get kicked up from my SI. I don't have to think about it. And again, same reason with the ISTJ. The INTJ is made upset by this because now they've got to manage your perceptions of them, and they don't want to be pushing that FE. INFJ, it's a little different. If you want to piss off an INFJ, tell them to go to bed, finish your food, brush your hair, stuff like that, because then they're having to pay attention to how to do things intelligently, which they don't want to do. Alright, so let's go down here a little further. We've got your ESFP and your ESTP. These are both 8-slot NE people. ESFP has TI in the polar and ESTP has FI in the polar. ESFP, you need to say these words to that person. Listen, you need to say these words to that person if you want to be convincing and rational. Well, that's going to be a big problem for them because you're saying, you're telling them you're going to have to use your TI, and that's going to constrain your NE when your NE doesn't want to be constrained by anything but the SE. ESTPs, if you tell them you should have said meow 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 meow, then they have to use their FI to determine whether that's actually something they wanted to do, or you're critiquing them by not having access to their FI quick enough or something like that, and they're just going to piss them off. Alright, I think we got 2 more types down here. The NE DOMs, the SE 8th people, ENFP and ENTP. So if you tell an ENFP you should do this because of reasoning, they're going to be really pissed off. And if you tell an ENTP you should do this because it's important or matters or it increases significance in some fashion or aligns more with what you want, then that's going to piss the ENTP off. Don't tell me what to do, okay? I don't even know what I want to do. So how the fuck are you supposed to know what I want to do, right? And when you tell me what I want to do, then I'm like, I don't even know what I want to do. When you tell me what I should do, you're basically telling me what I should want to do, and I have no fucking idea what I want to do. So until it occurs to me, like driving back from dropping my dad off downtown, I was thinking about this would be a good video to make. So basically, you hammer somebody's 8th if you want to piss them off. You could, if somebody's in a TI DOM, you accuse them of, you tell them what they're feeling. If somebody's a FI DOM, you tell them what they're thinking. If somebody's an FE DOM, you tell them how to do shit. If somebody's a TE DOM, you tell them how to socially smooth. If somebody's an SI DOM, you tell them you know who they are for universals. If somebody's an NI DOM, you tell them your universals can't be informative about things. Regardless, it will piss them off because everybody feels as though their 8th slot is fundamentally balanced. It's like the one thing I do exactly right is SE, because it's my most unconscious function. So from my perspective, since it's always kicking in service of extroverted intuition, like when I had this idea, I came back here, I made this little chart. It's the SE follow through of doing this because it was quick and easy enough to do. It didn't require a shit ton of SE, right? I already had a partial table, like I copied a different table and made it, I had to double it up because it was just the 8 functions, but it was like half as much work or less than it might otherwise have been, you know? The point is, from my perspective, I got that SE perfect. I've got just enough SE to get the thing done I need to do to make this video, and don't tell me what to do. Just don't tell me what to do. And the same is true for everybody with 8 slot, as I said. So this is, if you want to know how to anger people, I don't know why you're so interested in learning this, but if you want to know how to piss people off, You push on their 8th slot, and the reason it pisses them off is because it demands of them to access the 7th slot in a way that they're not comfortable in doing, and it demands them to reevaluate the autonomic quality of their 8th slot function in ways that they don't want to do, and yada yada yada. So enjoy this video, and please push thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Why do people say that shit? I don't know.